We had another incident, and look, I will tell you this. I don't blame Angel Reese for being mad because Bree Hartley pulls Angel Reese's hair. Okay? However, you can be mad and you don't have to lose complete control.
Angel Reese just tossed up a triple-double, but let's not get distracted by the stat sheet because the real headline was her sudden transformation into the WNBA's answer to Stone Cold. Steve Austin, after a little hair tug, ipped from player to action movie villain, lashes flying, braids catching air, and enough side-eye to slice through a brick wall. The game might have ended, but the drama had just begun. This wasn't post-game emotion. It was a full-blown episode of Real Housewives of the Paint, and all that was missing was someone flipping a table.
At their home court. Her name may be Angel, but she far from God, okay? Because this was a very spicy game. It was giving very passionate, it was giving aggressive, it was giving tenacity, being ferocious. Because why Angel Reese pressed both Bria Hartley, Olivia Nelson-Ododa, and Tina Charles, okay? Because Bria Hartley accidentally grabbed one of her braids. How do you accidentally pull somebody's hair? Now, come on now. She's literally on the play like that. You're supposed to be guarding somebody. Angel Reese trying to go up for a layup or whatever she was doing. And like Bria Hartley like just grabbed one of her pigtails, one of her braids that was like braided down to her like her waist. And Angel Reese, of course, she had the right to react the way that she did.
Now let's talk about the actual foul here, and it's not her field goal percentage. It's the hair grab. Not the 10 boards, not the double-digit box score. No, it's the fact that in a professional league someone decided it was totally fine to snatch another player's braid like she was shopping for wigs in a rush, and then decides to swing her arms, ready to throw hands. How is this not being treated like the sports crime it is? NBA guys sneeze wrong and get texts, but Reese is out here reeling in opponents like she's deep-sea fishing. IFF, you think Reese should be suspended? Comment me and let me in the comments down below. Let's go.
And she's going to pull Angel Reese's hair. Oh, here we go again. All right. And you see Angel Reese pushed Olivia Nelson-Ododa, Nelson-Ododa right there. There's the hair pull. Now watch her just walk in to separate, and she has to lose her mind.
You can't just grab hair and expect people to clap. This is an 8th grade gym class or a high school hallway scrap. It's the WNBA, and don't insult us by calling it incidental contact. That was a straight-up tactical yank like she was trying to disarm a tripwire. Don't get me wrong, that haired hair pulled be a flagrant, but what Reese did is just as bad, and instead of calling it out, people bent over backward to frame her as the emotional underdog. She's just passionate. Oh please, if someone so much as breathed in her direction, we'd already be halfway through Sports Center debate and a Twitter think piece.
Angel Reese, why does she get so tough with the little ones? Why does Angel Reese act like this big, tough, and rugged chick when it comes to the small people? You know, she likes to get at the smaller people on the court, but when a bigger person steps to her, she gets a little bit more timid and meek.
But because it was Angel Reese, the league apparently responded with a group hug and a juice pouch. She racks up a triple-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and a solid 10 outbursts, and suddenly it's like she reinvented the game of basketball. Triply-double or not, that performance was barely enough to impress her own shoelaces, but ESPN, they practically threw her a parade.
It was a
historic night for Angel Reese. Really historic for what? Cranking the drama dial up to 100 while shooting 28%?
Now, Angel Reese today had a triple-double, and the world is probably going to explode on that. She had 11 assists, two turnovers only, which is actually pretty impressive. Her teammates obviously made some shots. She was only 2 of 7 from the field, so she shot 28.5% from the field to end up with her 10, 11 points or whatever it was, and she got most of her points from the free throw line. But that wasn't the story of her game today against Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yes, a triple-double is nice if you're not chucking up bricks like you're doing construction work, but somehow that low-efficiency stat line became the storyline of the week. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark drops a clean 30, takes more hits than a crash test dummy, and doesn't get a single headline unless it involves someone checking her into next week. Reese gets a mid-range stat night, and ESPN acts like she solved world hunger. Are we giving out MVPs based on vibes now?
The story of her game today was hair pull. The hair pulling. And her reaction to her hair being pulled. And now, in a vacuum, I actually don't have much issue with the reaction that she had from her hair being pulled. I really don't. Can't say I have any issue with her reaction, just being real. What I have an issue with is her being such a hypocrite, because she's a hypocrite.
And the irony, it's Olympic level. Angel Reese is out here treating her own hair like it's priceless Faberge crystal that AL. One finger gets close, and she's in full courtroom testimony mode, but someone else's braid ice errantly open game. The double standard is blinding. You can't demand reverence for your curls while turning your opponent's scalp into a tug-of-war competition. That's not fierce. That's just hypocritical.
So lads, today we're going to be talking about the Sun and Sky game, and the Sky got their third win of the season, putting them to third last in the W, which isn't, like, they're 3-7. They're not good. Like, they're almost certainly not going to make playoffs. But at the end of the day, look, it's not like they're not going to be a half a game off the Mystics if the Mystics lose today. We also really want the Mystics to win today.
The worst part isn't even the foulness, it's the smugness afterwards that I did something legendary. Luke as if yanking hair and acting like you just won a Nobel Prize are somehow compatible. She struts like she authored the Constitution, and every text she earns is some misunderstood artistic expression. Angel Dodell. Reese's whole act is exhausting, not because she's competitive, but because she's constantly playing the misunderstood genius when she's just being messy. She walks into every arena like the league should be thankful she showed up. Every foul is never her fault, and every skirmish is as clearly someone else disrespecting her. And the second anyone calls it out, it's all, they just jealous. She treats every mild critique like it's a federal case and any accountability like it's a personal attack. The attitude isn't confidence, it's deflection wrapped in drama. Some people say she's being unapologetically herself. Great, but if being herself includes pulling hair and playing the victim simultaneously, maybe we should stop applauding it.
Trying to be the peacemaker, trying to, be the de-escalator. She got pushed. Angel Reese pushed her about it. She said, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Run the fade right now. You done pulled my hair. You know what you did it on purpose. And then Tina Charles, okay? Who's supposed to be like, the calm, cool, collected one, the more mature one, the one who got like all the skills and just the foresight, the wisdom. She's older. She's mature. She's been in the season for this is her 16th, 17th season in the W. Tina Charles pressed Angel Reese. They look like they was about to jump her.
Even worse than the antics are the commentators who act like every tantrum is some grand cultural moment. She's changing the game. No, she's changing the channel straight to reality TV. Reese flailing Madame is treated like art while her stats are displayed like museum pieces. And all the while the blatant foul, the part where she physically grabbed another player mid. Possession is just shrugged off because, hey, she got some rebounds. So let's do a quick sanity check. Imagine Caitlin Clark pulling a stunt like that. Imagine the outcry, the columns, the what message are we sending outrage. But when it's Reese, we're supposed to praise her edge and ignore the fact that she just turned a basketball game into WrestleMania. One solid stat line doesn't erase the mess that's like awarding someone Citizen of the Year right after they keyed a car but happen to help an old lady cross the street.
You see this play. You got Angel Reese going up for a rebound.
We mentioned the
Then here comes the player behind her.
physicality and that last possession.
She's got her left hand right here on a braid of Angel Reese. Yanks that shit. I want the ball.
The contact being let go.
And Angel Reese throws her hand out. I get that. I get all that. This is where she goes a little bit, does her thing a little too much.
This time, I think it was accidental.
So Nelson Ododa is separating them. She's not pushing Angel Reese. And Angel Reese is acting like she's so big and tough.
At some point, we've got to draw the line. Competitive fire. Love it. Physical play, sure, but dirty tactics wrapped in diva energy and then dressed up as misunderstood greatness. That's not growing the game. That's turning it into a circus. And Caitlin Clark, she's out here bawling, taking hits and somehow still keeping her composure. She doesn't need to yank braids to dominate. She just plays, elevates everyone around her, and makes the league look like the future. Meanwhile, Rhea is too busy playing both the villain and the martyr, and eventually that act wears thin because it's one thing to play hard, and it's another to play dirty and then demand applause for it.
Hartley, and then Reese just with a big reaction, and Tina Charles, being the vet that she is, gonna stick up for her team.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate the comedy of it all. Angel L. Reese's latest drama completely hiked her own team's win. The Chicago Sky could have used this victory as a statement, but nah, that shine got buried beneath another one-woman Broadway audition starring Rhea as the misunderstood anti-hero. She doesn't just show up to play ball. She arrives with subplots, side quests, and enough baggage to need TSA pre-check every game. Each game comes with drama, like it's part of the playbook. A scuffle here, a glare there, maybe a post-game tweet that needs a translator, and yet somehow she still thinks she's league representative material. Like, really, is this what you want? Headlining the WNBA, an ongoing identity crisis with glitter and grudges. Hard pass. The league deserves a face, not a full-blown Tell Nala.
You're my darling. I'm scrolling through the Twitter streets. You guys know how I do. Pedal to the metal. I got a lead foot. It is what it is, but I see something off in the distance, and it is a sign. And that sign says, more of a billboard, if you will. It says, Chicago Sky's Angel Reese directly addresses major criticism about her game. Now, my initial thoughts, my initial reactions is, why are we addressing criticisms about our game? Shouldn't we be working on our game? Shouldn't we be in the training facility? Shouldn't we be in the practice facility? Shouldn't we be in the gym? Shouldn't we be doing something that, I don't know, enhances our game?
And what's wild is that people are still lining up to crown her queen for doing the bare minimum 10 boards, and a couple passes suddenly makes you royalty. That's like giving out Oscars for best supporting role in a meltdown. This isn't revolutionary, it's a rerun. She's not redefining greatness, she's just throwing tantrums in high definition. But sure, let's keep boosting the narrative. Let's pretend the hair pulling and hostile glares are part of a masterclass in competitive spirit. Let's all conveniently forget that the same media praising her passion would have burned any other player alive for half of what she pulls. Its WNBA selective memory at its finest. Rhea could run onto the court with scissors, and someone would still call it unapologetic energy. And don't kid yourself, this isn't accidental. Angel Rhea thrives on the chaos. The more buzz,